the inyonim of Chazoros Hashatz and how chashuv it is, al pi Kabbalah for sure, for a person to be in the Beis Medrash, to be concentrating, to be listening to Chazoros Hashatz as a chelik of the tzibur. We're relying on every single person, as the Shulchan Aruch said, we spoke about this last time, that every person is an individual. You look at yourself as one of the 10 and only as one of the 10. It doesn't make a difference if there's 20, 30, 40, 50 people there. You are one of the people that we are waiting to answer. By the way, Amen is agreeing. So when you don't answer Amen, it basically looks, Chas v'shalom, not that you're actually thinking this way, but it looks like you're not agreeing with what's going on, which is a terrible thing. Which is why we spoke about last time how important it is for a person to answer Amen, so much so that the Shulchan Aruch says that if a person doesn't answer Amen, and there's no minion answering Amen, it's a shaylif, it's a bracha levatola on the shliach tzibur, who is actually davening. So I want to just go through some of the actual halachas. Last time we spoke about the inyan, the chashivas of it, how important it is. Now let's go through some practical halacha l'maisa on Chazoros Hashatz. So just to remind the olim again, true, it was originally established for the Amaratzim, for the people that could not daven, didn't know how to say the words or whatever, but now that it's become a chelik of our Tefillah, it's been instituted as a part of our davening. Memele Rosh Hashanah has a whole tshuva on this, that it's important for a person to concentrate. You're meant to not do anything else. You're not meant to be learning. You're not meant to be doing other davening. You're not meant to be doing anything else apart from sitting. By the way, the post can bring down the best thing to do. If you've ever witnessed this is amazing. I've seen this a few times, where people, they sit and they're following through. They have their finger on the place. I've seen this before. It's amazing. You see them following through every word. That's what is meant to really happen, the highest madrega of Chazoros Hashatz. And as we said, the Kaf HaChaim brings up the Arizal, that Chazoros Hashatz is even more powerful than your personal Shmoneh Esrei. So just a few halachas which are very negeh to Chazoros Hashatz and perhaps being the Shliach Tzibur as well. So first of all, the Ramah tells us in Orach Chaim Kuf Chav Dalet that the person is meant to be standing during Chazoros Hashatz. The inyan is that you are meant to be standing. The reason why you're meant to be standing during Chazoros Hashatz, says the Vilna Gaon, the Mishnah Berurah brings halacha l'maisa, is shomea ka'oineh. Shomea ka'oineh means that when I'm listening to something, it's as if I'm saying it. Mimela, just like the Sheikh Tzibur has to stand, Menachem, I also have to stand. That's the din over there. There are poskim of Shlomo Zalman and others say that it's only a chumrah to stand. You don't have to, and of course, if it's difficult for you to stand the whole time, then avada there's a mokim to be makel. But those who want to be machmir, make sure don't leaning on a stender is basically the same thing as sitting. So definitely Rosh Shlomo Zalman says there's a mokim to sit, but again, he's even machmir to say that there is a mokim to stand if a person wants to be machmir over there. Moving on, Rabbi Isai, other halachos of Chazoros Hashatz. By the way, I don't know how many people know this. There's a Mefurish Mishnah Berurah. So Mefurish Mishnah Berurah, Kuf Chav Dalet Sikot Dazayin. Look it up. The Mishnah Berurah says, maybe this is more again, maybe on a Shabbos Kodesh or a Yontov, where the Shliach Tzibur starts to sing something in davening. Right? During Chazoros Hashatz, singing goes on, the Olim starts getting involved, right? So Mishnah Berurah says, be very careful. Of course you can sing, but don't say the words. Because if you say the words, we're worried that you may end off with the bracha that the Shliach Tzibur is saying when he gets to the end of that paragraph of that bracha. And therefore the Mishnah Berurah says, be very careful not to say words together with the Shliach Tzibur, because again, you may come to make a bracha. Singing, there is no problem, but saying the words may be problematic. Let's move on, Rabbi Isai. So much to talk about over here. For example, speaking. Of course, we spoke about speaking during Chazoros Hashatz Avada Nisht, right? And we're not talking about speaking in shul, which Avada a person shouldn't do, B'shas Tefillah, B'shas Kriyas Torah. That's a terrible thing to do. But we're talking about different halakim davening that the person speak even worse about speaking during that time. For example, a person finishes Shmoneh Esrei. I'm done. I'm davening. I finished my davening. I'm now waiting for the Shliach Tzibur to start Chazoros Hashatz. Can I or can I not speak over there? The Kaf HaChaim writes this mufurish, and the Kaf HaChaim calls it a chet gomur, or a chet chomor, I think he says, maybe even better. The Kaf HaChaim says is a very stringent, very serious aveira for a person to speak between Shmoneh Esrei and Chazoros Hashatz. True, you're waiting around, nothing's going on. Don't don't speak at that time. By the way, another reason why you shouldn't speak at that time, apart from, of course, speaking in a Beis HaKnesset and a Beis HaMedrash, is that you are weakening the koyach of Tachnun, right? We all know that Tachnun is an amazing and incredible tefillah for a person to be able to weaken his enemies. And unfortunately, Klal Yisrael, we have many enemies, right? B'chol dor v'dor. Every single generation they come to try to chap us. Al kaponim, if a person wants to utilize the koyach of Tachnun, he must make sure he doesn't speak, because if you speak, you loosen, you weaken the koyach of the Tachnun, of the protection that it gives you over there. By the way, if you hear another minyan, which is very negay, I guess if you're davening at the coastal or anything else, you finish your Shemon Esrei, and there's another minyan that are saying Kaddish. Can I answer Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah? The answer is, of course you can. Can I, for example, catch up on my tefillahs? For example, if Chas v'Shalom, a person once a month, whatever, came a bit late for davening, and he wants to catch up on some of Pesukei Zimra, even though Be'emes is not really the right thing to do, because you're blocking the pipes, because Pesukei Zimra is written in a way that you can go up, all the way up to Birchos Krishma, and then Shemon Esrei. So if you skip parts of Pesukei Zimra, you're kind of messing and blocking up the pipes, so that shouldn't be done. But if for whatever reason, every so often it happens, maybe, so you want to catch up afterwards, or you want to say some Tehillim, or something like that, you want to catch up on the Daf Yomi, whatever, of course you can do that. There's no problem with a person. That's what Ma'aseh the Psak of Rav Elyashiv Zatzal, that if a person is allowed to catch up on Karbonos, on Tehillim, on other parts of davening, there would be no problem over there. Let's move on, Rabbi Isai, to some other halachos as well, which is Negeya. And this is as follows. First of all, by the way, the Olim, I know the Olim is not so into being the Chazzon, and when people ask you, no, I don't want to do it. First, you should know it's a gewaldige schos. It's a tremendous schos. You are the shliach for the tzibur, which is an amazing schos, and you get schosim like unbelievable things. The Chazal tell us, when a person is davening for the Omid, it's an amazing opportunity. In fact, Chazal tell us, and this is brought down in Halach and Shulchan Aruch, right? There are certain specifications of a person that's meant to be a Chazzon. Of course, we know it famously by Yomim Noraim. When you're choosing a Bal Tefillah, when it comes to Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, even for Slichas, there's all sorts of specifications of how old does he have to be, married, all sorts of things, right? Okay, so we're not talking about Yom Noraim at this moment of time, but being the Shtei Tzibur means you're representing everyone else. It's a very choshev thing. Number one. Number two, the Gemara tells us, and look this up, Rabbi, say yourself. Brachas Lamed Daled Amud Aleph. The Gemara says that a person should not be too salty. What does that mean? That means if a person agrees right away to daven for the Yom, they ask you, yeah, that's too salty. That's like food that's too salty, as I state in the Gemara. What you're meant to do the first time, you're meant to be like, second time a bit more, and the third time off you go. However, Rabbi said, listen to this one very carefully. If an Adam Choshev, I don't know what that means, but if an Adam Choshev asks you to daven, you don't do that. Don't start the shticks of, I don't know, it's not really for me, it's not my thing. You go. That's how it works. As I state in the Gemara, as that's how we paskin halacha l'maisa. An Adam Choshev asks you, you don't mess around, you just go. As I state. By the way, the Ramah brings down in Semen and Gimel, the clothing that a Shliach Tzibur is meant to wear is also meant to be of certain distinction. It's meant to be clean. The reason, by the way, we wear a talis is covered at tzibur. Even though you're not married, there's no reason for you guys to wear a talis, right? It's not generally your minhag, unless obviously your minhag is that way. But if your minhag is not to wear a talis, why are you wearing talis when you go out? The answer is, says the Chofetz Chaim in the Mishnah Berurah, covered at tzibur. In fact, I remember a while back, wow, this was Kabbalah, I don't remember where this was. Some random place, maybe we were with yeshiva, I don't remember. We walked in, whatever it was, into this shul, in the middle of this like random place in Israel. And there was a minyan going on over there of people that, unfortunately we judge people by the way they dress, by the way they look. It's so sad. We shouldn't do that, but unfortunately we're human beings, and unfortunately we do. And it was a group of people that we probably would have thought these people don't even daven, never mind, don't daven with a minyan, right? But it's unbelievable. There they were davening the minyan for Shtei Tzich, there was Fadim, that's a davar Poshet Ad Ma'od. But I witnessed this, it was amazing. A guy got up to daven, I don't know if it was Mincha, Mariv, whatever it was, he gets up to daven, and he was wearing short sleeves. Okay, I'm in the back of the shul, that's where I like to be, my favorite place, the shul, back corner of the shul, and I'm witnessing what's going on, and then he's getting up to daven. This is gewaldig. I see a guy running over to him with like 2 shmatters or pieces of material. I'm thinking like, oh, what's going on over here? Amazing thing. They made putting like sleeves that you can put on for a person that wears short sleeves. And there he was, he put on one and he put on the other, and all of a sudden, boom, he had long sleeves. And here I am thinking, my gosh, these are people, unfortunately, that we look at and we think, these people don't even daven. If they daven, they don't daven the minyan, not makpid, not minyan, whatever it was. Not only do they daven, and they daven beautifully, not only daven the minyan, which is gavaldik, they're makpid the way they dress, b'shas. Okay, shliach tzibur is even more makpid than everybody else. But al kaponim, it just gives you a realization of where we have to be al kaponim in that case. Let's move on and some other halachos of shliach tzibur. By the way, the inyan of Goyal Yisrael for a shliach tzibur, for a person that's davening for the Omer. Now, Baruch Hashem, the Olim will daven for the Omer a lot more after hearing this, I hope. So I don't have to know a bit more halachas. When it comes to Shemona Esrei by Shachris, and you're saying Goyal Yisrael, right? So many have a minhag to say Goyal Yisrael quietly, because it's a suffix if it requires Amen after Goyal Yisrael. If you want the Olim to answer Amen, it's a shaila about whether or not there's a hefset, there'll be an interruption in that case. The Machlokes Shulchan Aruch and Ramah. It's also Machlokes Rishonim in that case. The Shulchan holds you don't, and the Ramah holds that you do. L'maiseh, Reb Chaim Kanievsky does bring down in the back of his Yisrael, he says that it's a shtickle of bizoyin to the tefillah. It's a shtickle of bizoyin to the bracha for a person to say God loud and then Yisrael just goes quietly. Oh, but he says that's the minhag in most places, but make sure you actually finish the bracha, but not loud enough that people will answer Amen. And the Meister Reb Shlomo Zalman says there are different minhagim. Do the minhag of the mokem, the minhag of the shul that you are in that case. By the way, the nusach of davening, this is very nageya, whether it's in yeshiva or anywhere. When you go somewhere to daven, you're davening for the Amud, what nusach do you daven in your silent Shemona Esrei? So most poskim hold you should daven the nusach of course by Chazzon Hashatz you daven the nusach of the shul, that's poshut. And I'm talking about your silent Shemona Esrei. Your quiet Shemona Esrei, what should you daven? So most hold that you can daven whatever nusach you want for your silent Shemona Esrei, but of course the Chazzon Hashatz that you're doing loud has to be the nusach of the shul that you are in. Rav Moshe famously says no, in your silent Shemona Esrei you should be davening the same nusach as you're about to do in Chazzon Hashatz as like a preparation so you don't get mixed up in that case. Rachatchila, when it comes to the Chazzon, you wait for roiv of the tzibur. That's the lashon of Shulchan Aruch. You wait for roiv the tzibur to finish before you start, unless the Rav or whatever it is finishes early and he tells you to continue. That's a davar poshut. You put 2 feet together like you would normally do. We're talking about Chazzon Hashatz specifically, because that's 1 feet together, by the way, is doimet to a malach. That's what we're trying to be, even when we do that on our side of Shemona Esrei. Even in Chazzon Hashatz, the shliach tzibur needs to do that. All bowings of regular Shemona Esrei are done in that case. Hashem Sfasai Tiftach, Mr. Brewer says you do say, but you say it silently in that case. Kishem Hashem Ekra, by the way, you do not say. You're meant to daven Shemona Esrei, Chazzon Hashatz loud, so everyone can hear it, and do not start a new bracha until roiv of the tzibur have already answered Amen to the previous bracha. Kedusha also needs to be say loud as well. By the way, again, unfortunately, you see people are not makpid on this. Moedim, right? When you say moedim, so the olim are saying moedim d'Rabbanan. What does the Chazzon do? See, quietly goes through it. No, moedim is meant to be said loud enough that 10 people can hear you. Very important to say moedim when you are davening for the shliach tzibur, then say moedim loud in that case. When it comes to kohanim, if you're zoicha to have a kohen at shachris, and you're zoicha to get the kedusha and the brachas of birchas kahanim, like getting a bracha from the gadol ador, and it's like going to the mikveh, it's like Allah gavaldig in yunim. So you have a kohen in the beis medrash, it's gavaldig. So does the Chazzon say kohanim? So the Shulchan Aruch says that the meaning is the Chazzon to say kohanim. It's machlokes rishonim, by the way, if it's a hefsek to say kohanim or not. The Vilna Gaon and the Gra, the Chai Adam held that he should not say kohanim, which is why many, including our beis medrash over here, have a minhag that the Chazzon does not say kohanim, and somebody else normally shouts out kohanim. So it should not be a hefsek in that case. And of course, he does not answer amen to any of the birchos kohanim, even if he's looking into a siddur. That's the din of a Chazzon. And at the end of Chazzon Hashatz, he does not say Yiratzon, even though the Shlach Kodesh says actually he should, and the Vilna Gaon holds that's the Ikka. So according to the Vilna Gaon and the Shlach Kodesh, he should be saying Yiratzon in that case. After Chazzon Hashatz, by the way, you do not need to take 3 steps back, because you're soymech on the 3 steps back that you have of after Kaddish, after Ashrei, even though the Maisa, some say that's okay that you can do it, but you don't necessarily need to do that. So Rabbi Sai, these are just the kitzah halachas of being the Chazzon specifically for Chazzon Hashatz, and and what our Hanhaga is meant to be during Chazaras Hashatz, but it's a moshel like we said originally. And that is, for example, again, I don't play baseball, but one time when I remember years and years and years ago, they stuck me back in left field. Somebody told me, by the way, left field apparently is a good place to be. I don't know, maybe they thought I was a good player. I don't know, whatever it was. But if you're on your phone, b'shas ma'isa, you're concentrating on something else, and they're throwing you the ball, and you're not concentrating, and it comes your way, and you miss it, the guy's not getting a home run. Chaval. During Chazaras Hashatz, we have an opportunity as the tzibur to be involved. Don't be looking around, don't be learning, don't be on your phone, don't be talking. Be involved, because they're relying on you to answer Amen, and therefore through that, Be'ez Hashem, we should be zeichel to all the brachas. Tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem, brand new sugya in Hilchos Tefillah. Have an amazing day.